Many felt that the government is going to simplify this income tax act. Government has actually complicated the income tax to an extent where presently we have only 298 section under the Income Tax Act 1961. The point to be noted here is there is no much changes that has been brought under the income tax, replacing the assessment year with the tax year. The concept of tax year, which was promised by the government to be simplified, seems to be complicated with increasing the section number itself. So even for the tax practitioners, this is going to cause a lot of hardship, and 60 years practice of legacy of those section numbers will definitely get confused. In Parliament, new income tax bill has been introduced. It is introduced in Lok Sabha. That means it has to go through the Parliamentary Standing Committee for suggestion, and also it should go through Rajya Sabha, and subsequently it should get the assent of the president. Only then the new income tax bill will become an act. My dear friends, the proposed income tax bill, when it is announced as part of the budget, many felt that the government is going to simplify this income tax act. But if you see, government has actually complicated the income tax to an extent where presently we have only 298 section under the Income Tax Act 1961, and it is a 60 years old act. Now the government is intending to, or rather government is looking at replacing with a new income tax bill with nearly about 560 sections and 16 schedules. My dear friends, in the old Income Tax Act, that is Income Tax Act 1961, we only had 298 sections and 14 schedules, and definitely it's going to be bulky. Beyond this, the question comes here, what are the major changes that has been done in the income tax bill? The point to be noted here is there is no much changes that has been brought under the income tax. There is no innovative models of taxation that has been brought under the Income Tax Act, which is income tax bill. But one important change that they have proposed as part of the income tax bill 2025 is replacing the assessment year with the tax year, the concept of tax year. Because always under the income tax law, there were 2 years. One is a previous year, other is the assessment year. This always used to confuse the readers of the law. Basically, which is a previous year, which is an assessment year, to ascertain that it used to take a long time. But under the present Income Tax Act 1961, this confusion was prevailing. But now the government, as part of the income tax bill, which is proposed in the Lok Sabha today, of course go through the Rajya Sabha later point of time and subsequently to the assent of the president. In that, they have replaced the previous and assessment year with the simple words, that is tax year. The second important change that is proposed as part of the Income Tax Bill 2025 is Taxpayer Charter, which is proposed to be brought under the new income tax bill, which will provide the rights and obligation of the taxpayer. As I said earlier, the 2 years, assessment year and previous year, is completely scrapped now under the new income tax bill. Only the concept of tax year has been placed under the Income Tax Bill 2025. My dear friends, beyond the changes which are brought in section numbers and certain schedules, very important change which we can see by going through the bill is a change relating to tax administration, where what we can see here is providing legal sanction to faceless assessments, and there are many statements of objects and reasons which have been part of the various changes that has been brought in over the 60 years as part of the Finance Act. Those changes have now been incorporated appropriately as part of the Income Tax Bill 2025. My view about the Income Tax Bill 2025 is that there are various other changes which are part of the Income Tax Bill 2025, which we will discuss shortly in the days to come. But point to be noted is income tax, which was promised by the government to be simplified, seems to be complicated with increasing the section number itself. Of course, the government went on to say they will remove the provisos and explanation. By removing the proviso and explanation, it is very difficult to interpret a particular section. Look at, for example, GST, which was supposed to be a simple law, now is complicated by the government, that is the state. Looking at the similar scenario with respect to income tax, a tax practitioner today going to the court or the tribunal, or even before appearing before the CIT appeal or any of the appeal process under the Income Tax Act, has to carry 2 books today. A is the old Income Tax Act 1961, vis-a-vis the new income tax which will be proposed and which will be passed in the parliament shortly. So even for the tax practitioners, this is going to cause a lot of hardship, and it is the same level of hardship which is caused to the advocates practice under the criminal side, for example, IPC, CRPC and Indian Evidence Act, was replaced by Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita. With the new criminal laws coming into picture, even the advocates are finding it very difficult. What could have been the best step that the government would have taken? Using the same Income Tax Act 1961, they could have replaced various provisions without changing the section number through the process of amendment or introducing a new section, which is very much possible. But the government is trying to bring the new income tax bill. By bringing new income tax bill, the entire structure of the section number undergoes a change, and 60 years practice of legacy of those section numbers will definitely get confused. So, my dear friends, the government's vision to bring simple income tax bill doesn't seem to be a reality. But the fact of the matter is that the new income tax bill seems to be more complicated than the earlier one. So, according to my understanding, in the days to come, Income Tax Act is said to be more complicated. So, we'll have to wait and watch what more changes the government is proposing as part of the income tax bill, which has been proposed in the Lok Sabha today. We have to see what are the comments that the opposition is going to give in the days to come. Thank you.